One of the most common questions I get from my clients is if they're ready to learn a new pitch. But before we get into whether or not you're ready, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. And if you want even more in-depth material, head to our website and check out our academy. So a lot of times I'll get a kid coming in, whether it's like I'm just starting to work with her, or maybe she's on a new team and her coach is trying to teach her some new pitches, but that she'll all of a sudden have, 5, 6, 7 different pitches, and she's 11 years old and she started pitching last year. And I don't think it comes to a surprise to anybody, but none of them do what they're supposed to do. Her mechanics aren't really set. They're not consistent. And really that makes them not usable in a game. The goal is not to have more pitches. That's not the goal. The goal is to have a couple really good pitches.
And I always tell too, like when I have pitchers that want to, they come in and they want to learn a new pitch and, when can we start learning this pitch? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, if you watch also like the GOATs of softball pitching, Japanese softball players, I'm like, they throw a fastball and a changeup because they don't need all this other stuff. And they're so successful and so good at what they do because they can locate the heck out of the ball. Like you could put it like a freaking like needle point somewhere and be like, throw it there, and they can throw it there. Like they have such good command over their pitches and basically rely a lot on EV to get people out. And they're highly effective and they throw 2 pitches. So kind of what you said, throwing more pitches does not equate to being a better pitcher. Like those are in no way whatsoever correlated.
But also look at the GOATs in the US too. Mm-hmm. Like look at Nyjah. I mean, she lives on rise change. I mean, she has a good curve, but how often does she throw it? Jordy Ball. I mean, what does she throw? Rise, drop, change. So it's like, even here, you don't see these amazing top tier pitchers throwing 5 or 6 different pitches within a game. So how do you know if you're ready to learn a new pitch?
Typically, what I look for, or what I guess both of us, what we look for is the mechanics. Do you have the foundation down? Like the basic mechanics to be able to throw in a straight line? If so, then that's when you start going on to locations. And can you hit your spots when you want to? Not just like, oh yeah, I can throw strikes. That's great. Can you throw inside consistently? Can you throw outside consistently? Only at that point, when you feel like you have command over your pitch, basically that we say like mastered your pitch, then you can start learning the next one. And typically that next pitch is a changeup, like after the fastball.
Not get too far ahead, but when we talk about mastering pitches, we're not talking about hitting your spot 100% of the time, because that is not possible. Like maybe you have one set where you hit all 10 in a row, but that is going to be very, very rare. We're talking like 70 to 75% consistency. It's a lot lower than people think. But like going back to the GOATs, how often do you think they hit their spots? They're like 80 to 85% with their best pitch. So for youth athletes, it's going to be lower.
That's what I tell my pitchers, 7 out of 10. And I understand like there is a lot of excitement behind wanting to learn a new pitch. And when I was first throwing, this was when I was in rec ball, wanted to learn a changeup because you see other people throwing it in games. You're like, I want to throw that. I want to learn different pitches. But which thank God she did, but she was like, you can learn a changeup. I'll teach one to you if you can hit, I think it was 7 out of 10 spots. And I mean, that's good because now you're working towards something. You have a goal that's set. If you start learning pitches too early before that foundation is set, before you can locate pitches, you're not going to be able to locate the pitches because you don't have this foundation that's like set in stone which maybe not set in stone isn't the correct way to put it, but like you don't have a foundation. Like you're basically trying to build a house on top of sand right now. Like that's not going to work, especially when you get into like movement pitches and start doing different things with your fingers and your hand positioning. If you can't throw a fastball down the middle, even consistently, or locate it, you're not going to be able to do anything with your other pitches. You're not going to be accurate. You're going to be wild. It's just not good. You're messing with mechanics. The pitcher at that point doesn't even know what her body's doing or what she's feeling. You should not be learning a new pitch if you don't know what your body is feeling, at least a little bit. Prematurely learning a new pitch is actually worse for your pitcher than you might think. So
yeah, just detrimental.
Be a coach down. And be the mean guy and say no. If they're not ready, say no.
It slows down the process. But like, I wouldn't say, I don't tell my kids no, but I'll say, hey, like, okay, if you want to learn a rise ball, we got to be able to hit your fastball 70% of the time and your changeup 60%.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like, that's what I'm like. It's not a hard no, but it's like, okay, this is how I will teach it to you when this happens.
Yeah.
And when I
Or
see
and then
that,
and then like if you're let's say you already have your first movement pitch. So let's say you've got your fastball and your changeup are dialed, your rise ball is getting around like 60 to 65%, and now you're wanting to learn or like maybe your rise ball's not there yet, but now you're wanting to learn another pitch. Well, we need to make sure your rise is at the level you want it to be at. Right? If this is going to be your number 1 pitch, we want it to be at like 70%. If it's going to be your number 2, number 3 pitch, like that, maybe now we're looking at more like 60 to 65%. But we have to get there before we start adding something else. Not only because of just consistency, and you need to have good enough control of your body to be able to do that, but also the more pitches you start adding, right? You only have so much time during the week to practice. So the more pitches you start adding, the less time you can put towards each pitch.
I mean, that's kind of why you think about like fastball being like the pitch that you warm up, or like that base pitch, because it's been the pitch that you've thrown the longest.
So in short, I mean, there is kind of a benchmark as to when you're ready to learn a new pitch. And that's when the pitches that you are currently throwing are consistent and you're able to locate them where you want, when you want. That's how you know you're ready.
And if your pitcher isn't there, it's okay to say no and explain why, right? Like, I want you to have more control over your pitches, more accuracy, right? Once they get that, give them something to work towards. Now they're reaching a goal and they're looking forward to, they're getting excited. Hopefully they're excited to go practice, but now they're like, oh, you know, if I hit 7 out of 10, I get to learn a changeup the next lesson, right? Like, that's good to keep kids having fun.
And motivated.
Yes.
So this is going to be our last video for 2025. We've got a lot of stuff going on and we're not going to be able to film. But in the meantime, if you're a parent or a coach and you're wondering how to get started on another pitch, be sure to go to our website, check out our academy, check out our courses. We have tools there to help you. And we'll be back next year with some more videos about the mental game, but we're also going to do a lot more how-tos talking about different pitches and mechanics. So stay tuned.
And if there's anything you want to see, drop them in the comments. Let us know. Let us help you. Bye.